Meantime, the Trump administration is now asking the Supreme Court to step in after an appeals court ordered most construction tied to the president's Ballroom project halted by the end of the week. NBC's Ryan Nobles is at the White House with the new developments. Ryan, good morning to you. What's the latest?
Hey, Chanel, good morning. The administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow construction to proceed after an appeals court ruled that the president needed congressional authorization to build the complex. President Trump is arguing that the Ballroom is just part of what will be a massive underground military complex with medical facilities and bomb shelters. And that is why Trump says it is, quote, a desperately needed national security structure. Now, the court ruled that construction could continue on the underground site, but not on the above-ground ballroom. President Trump says neither section works without the other and is all one highly integrated unit. And we are now starting to get some new images of what it may all look like. In one of the new renderings, you can actually see a drone port on the ballroom's roof. The outside also appearing to have a large golden presidential seal, and the inside heavily accented and gilded in gold, as is the president's trademark. The administration says construction is about 2/3 of the way through. Craig?
So Ryan, this ballroom battle that we're talking about here, all of it coming right after the White House just finished to confirm Todd Blanche as the Attorney General, also looks like we might be getting a bit of a preview of what Blanche's tenure could look like based on some new comments. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Craig, as the president's former attorney, concerns were raised about whether he could remain independent, as most attorneys generals have been in the past. He was asked about those worries by our colleague Kristen Welker on Meet the Press over the weekend.
Can you pledge that the Justice Department will always act independently of the White House?
Well, there's a big difference between saying we will always do our job and investigate any case and act independently of the White House. No, I'm not going to pledge that, and no attorney general should ever pledge that.
Now, Blanche went on to say that he would take the president's view on a case or issue into consideration, also adding that President Trump has never asked him and never will to do anything illegal or unethical. Craig?
Ryan Nobles from the White House for us. Ryan, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.